it's like when I first, and believe it or not, when I first saw this guy, he was doing comedy. And a lot of people just think that, he's this huge, mega,
he's a
actor.
He's a big screen star.
Yeah, but they better ask somebody, because I see him doing the stand-up, and he's been in Raleigh a couple of times, but first time here on the Sports Shop.
Yes,
Man,
glad to have him too.
Give it up for comedian, actor, Dan Soder. What's going on, man? How you doing, man? What's going on?
Good morning.
How you doing, brother?
You just learned about Jack and Coke.
No, don't listen to them.
Dan, she did.
I just started
I have a drinking
them.
problem that's older than your knowledge of Jack and Coke.
No, I just started drinking it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Don't
pretty
listen
good,
to
right?
them. Yeah. I
pretty
do
great.
the spiced rum and Coke. That's my jam.
Oh, she's going spiced.
I did, you should try spiced rum and Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I got sick off it. I can never drink it again. But you'll love it.
Okay.
I can recommend it to you. I smell it. I'm a barf. But you can have it. You'll enjoy it. It's really good. It's very good. I suggest it.
So, Dan, you rocking, man. Again, of course, you can catch him out at Good Night's Comedy this weekend. Tonight at 7:30 and 10, and tomorrow night at 7:30 and 10.
Yeah, four more to go.
So you talked about you were on the tail end of a year-long, if you will, road trip, right? All over the place, right?
Everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I lived in Scotland for a month.
Wow.
Yeah, all over the road, and then it's all finishing with me taping an HBO special on Wednesday. So.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Good Nights is the last place.
That's a great way to finish up there, man.
Great way to finish it.
Yep.
And Good Nights has been great. So we're doing a 2-man show, me and Jordan Fisher, and I'm just running the hour.
Okay.
Before I tape, this is it. It's like when you're breaking up with someone and you kind of enjoy it at the very end. That's how it feels with this.
Hey, we're done.
Yeah.
I'll holler. Bye.
Yeah. With the last one where you're like, oh, I'm out of this.
Take that.
And I feel good about it, too.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you can say whatever you want when I'm done. But this last week, till this rent is over, until our lease breaks, I'm going to have fun this last week.
We break this lease.
Are you working out any jokes for the special that you're taping?
It's just basically like running the hour, because I've just ran this so many times, and it's like it's just ready to go.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready. Like people are like, "Are you excited?" I'm like, I want this thing out of me. I just want to next. I'm literally looking up like stuff to watch next weekend, because I'll be like, I know I'll be happy
to get all motivated for it, right?
Yeah, when it's like summer break. Summer break's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not these exams out so I can get to summer break.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it's great, and I'm glad I'm at Good Nights, and I love coming down here. I love Raleigh, and it's been fun. It's been fun so far.
Wow. So Dan, you mentioned you've been in the comedy game for a minute.
Yeah.
You've been touring around. So we get you guys come in, and I'm always curious about that road life you guys live and where you guys travel around the country. What's probably the weirdest thing that you've encountered being on the road that you just said to yourself, what the hell?
Man, I know exactly. It's so funny, because there's sometimes where you're like, do I have to think of a story? And you're like, no, I know exactly what happened. I was checking into a hotel in Albany, New York, and I live in Queens. So I drove up, I rented a car because I was like, it's easy. It was middle of winter, probably mid-December, 2 years ago. And I'm checking into this hotel, and the maintenance guy is hitting on the front desk lady as I'm checking in. Which, fine. God bless. You're at work. Go get it. I'm sorry. Just give me my room.
I'll be out your way.
And I'm going to be out your way. So I'm like, I'm talking to her, but they're mid-conversation. This woman starts checking me in. This guy doesn't stop talking to her.
Wow.
And then I don't know if he was all there, because a fire truck goes by. And out of nowhere, he just looks at me and he goes, did you hear about the guy in Syracuse that burned to death? And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like his floor collapsed and his whole house fell on him and he burned to death. And I was like, okay. And this lady, like she's not even listening, just continues to check me in like he's not there.
Even there, right?
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I got you on the 4th floor. And then in between her saying like hotel stuff, this dude starts telling me that he was a first responder for years and all the crazy stuff he saw as a first responder. And I'm looking at him like, dude, who are you? I'm checking into this hotel. Like, I think I'm pretty nice, but I think you can read me pretty well when I'm like, dude, what the hell is this guy talking about? And I'm talking to this woman. This woman doesn't break to the point where he's like, I just remember this one sentence. He goes, whole family died. And then the woman goes, all right, so that's your internet access code? And that's how you know? And I'm like, yeah, are you guys, is this a prank?
That's what I was about to say. It's gotta be.
I was laughing in front of them because I was like, this is so crazy. And I walked away and then they just kept talking. I was like, dude, man, good job. Good job. Good job.
She stayed focused the entire time. She didn't break character.
Like, man, I'll tell you, these Marriott employees, I don't know how they train them.
Classically trained.
Yeah. The Marriott, I think they do SEALs training with them. They just dunk them in water and then have weirdos tell them stories.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
I need you to check in this family of 4 with one ID. Neil over here is going to tell you about the time he saw a dead man.
Neil.
Look, the baby is crying. The dog isn't running around in the lobby.
Ambulance is going down the street.
Yeah, you let them know breakfast is at 6 a.m. every day in the lobby.
Like, you failed. Why? What did I do wrong? You didn't give him the internet code.
Yeah, now you're gone. You do that at the DoubleTree. We don't do that at Marriott. We are elite.
But then the DoubleTree is one of our sponsors.
By the way, shout out. I'm staying at the DoubleTree. Just want to say, great room. Lovely snack selection in the lobby.
The cookies are awesome.
Say, did you try the cookies?
Love them.
Amazing.
I love them.
The voice you hear is Dan Soder, who was walking with us in the sports shop for the first time. He said, good nights tonight, 7:30 and 10, and tomorrow night, 7:30 and 10. I'll be remiss, although you're an outstanding comedian, I just fell in love with your role in Billions.
Yeah, man, what a great show.
I'm a Billions groupie, man. I love it. I love
what
that.
A cool, we were kind of talking before, but yeah, man, it was a show where I remember season 1 we were making it. You're kind of like, what is this show?
Right.
Well, me and Daniel K. Isaac, who plays Ben Kim, we live in the same neighborhood, so we're friends in the show.
Oh, okay.
But then also we're friends in real life, so we just commute together to set.
Oh, okay.
And we were going to
That's so environmentally friendly of you guys.
You know what? We take a
millennial.
There it is. There it is.
Did I also tell you we take a Hummer that runs on diesel? Yeah, it's pretty cool. We run the air conditioning even when it's cold out. We just bundle up. We go pretty nuts. Sometimes we'll just drive around. Sometimes we'll go get food. We'll come home. Then we'll go to set.
You just sit out in the parking lot in the car.
We just idle. We nap in the Hummer. We take naps. That's where. Sometimes I'll just leave the car running. But when we were making season 1, I remember we were like on the train and we're like, is this going to be good? And then we watched season 1 and we were like, yeah, it's going to be good. And then season 2, we're like, is anyone going to care? And then to watch it get bigger and bigger. And then now we're on the eve of, we're about to start filming season 5.
Isn't that crazy?
I have no clue what's going to happen.
We started watching.
Yeah,
man,
we watched it.
It's a great binge show.
Oh, it is. How much time is required for, do you guys do 3 or 4 episodes at a time, or how's that work?
Man, it takes 6 months to film. So we're starting next week. We start in 2 weeks, and we won't finish till May.
Wow.
Goodness.
So that's when they'll film. Wow. That's when they'll end filming. It'll probably come out end of May, probably June. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised if they started in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take a lot of time, and it's usually about 10 business days to film an episode.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're talking about like 12 to 16-hour days. Like you see Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti, they're putting in time.
Yeah,
so is Maggie Siff. Like all the top ones, HK Dillon, David Costabile, they're putting in hours of work. I show up for like 2 days. It's great. I love it. I show up and I'm like, hey, all right, that's pretty cool. I'll get yelled at for a little bit. I'll get yelled at or I'll wear makeup. No, but this last season we got to do probably one of the coolest things I've ever done with a boxing episode where I fought Dollar Bill in a charity boxing match.
Yeah.
It was surreal. I'm a massive boxing fan, and Deontay Wilder.
Oh, yes. That's my guy.
Man, the only time I've ever kind of thrown a diva hissy fit was when I got the script for that episode, and it said that Deontay Wilder was in Dollar Bill's corner. I legitimately was like, that's not fair. I was like, that's not fair. I was like, Kelly, who plays Dollar Bill, I was like, he doesn't know anything about boxing. And I know about the bronze bomber. I know about his right hand.
That's right.
I didn't even watch the Ortiz fight. So I'm just like saying stuff, and they're like, all right. And at first, it was only supposed to be Tim Ferriss, who's in but then they're like, we got Stipe Miocic, the UFC heavyweight champion. I was like, okay. But it was one of those things where, when you're filming,
He's like,
you
all right.
get to hang out all day.
Yeah.
So, like it was Rich Eisen was there.
Oh, wow.
It was like a bunch of great cameos because he called the fight in the thing. Him and Bob Menery, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Deontay Wilder, everyone was laughing about me because I came early to meet him, and everyone was like, "I've never seen you fan out."
Fan out.
Because I was
Fan out. Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. I was like, I think you're about to beat up Anthony Joshua if it happens.
Yeah,
and then Joshua lost.
Yeah.
Yo, boy, did he?
Exactly.
Well, that rematch is about to happen on DAZN, right?
Yeah.
But be honest though, you want to see that rematch, or was he just? I mean, did he have a glass chin or what? What's up?
No, I don't. I think that guy he fought. If you look into that guy, he's got a hell of a career.
Yeah.
And so I like that journeyman thing. I think I'm excited to see the rematch because if Joshua wins in a very convincing fashion, it'll set up the Wilder Joshua
that's what
fight.
everybody wants to see.
Which is you just want to see too.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking with Dan Soder here on the Sports Shop. He'll be at Good Night's Comedy Club tonight and Saturday night. And in addition to his stand-up work and his role on Showtime's Billions, he also co-hosts The Bonfire with Big J Okerson on Sirius XM.
That's right.
And you talk about a lot of interesting topics, and one topic that really intrigued me is it's about time The Bonfire sponsored a NASCAR driver.
Oh, no, yeah. We were just trying to get Comedy Central money. We're on Comedy Central Radio. And we try to find ways to spend their money irresponsibly. We bought our first year on Comedy Central Radio.
Classic response.
We bought ghillie suits, which are what snipers wear.
Oh yeah,
wow,
Where they're in the bush.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so we just wore them to scare people at Sirius. And Comedy Central was like, "Why did you buy these?" And we're like, "I don't know."
We needed it.
Yeah, we're like, "Pay us back." And we just stand.
Don't ask that. Just pay us.
Dude, Comedy Central, it really is like we're their kid from their first marriage that they don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? Like mom says, we showed up like mom says we have to live with you, and they're like, all right. Yeah, Comedy Central's been real cool because I know Sirius has probably wanted to fire us a couple of times. So
These suits are like $100.
oh, I know. You get a good one, they're about $150.
Like, why are you wearing
Yeah.
Yeah, do y'all want one?
Yeah,
We can get it in 14
It's so funny because they won't.
hours.
Comedy Central won't like Nikki Glazer, another
Yeah,
very,
she comes in. She comes in all the time.
very very
We
funny
love
comedian.
Nikki,
Nikki got a show on Comedy Central Radio, and all of a sudden, like they started putting up the billboards, and they're like, "Nikki's in the morning," and Jay and I are like, "Why the hell are they not talking about it?" I'm like, oh yeah, we do that stuff. We buy ghillie suits.
stuff like this.
We really are the kid. We were like, "Shut up!" We have to. If Comedy Central Radio was a house and a family, we would be the kid that has the room in the basement.
I was saying,
We got our own entrance, and they're like, I know it smells weird down there sometimes, but I'm not telling my kids what to do.
oh man,
They got a job and they're going to school.
people come over. They say, "Who is that?" That's my son.
Yeah, that's my son. Don't worry about him. He usually goes through his own entrance.
Oh my goodness. We talked with Dan Soder. He's going to be at Charlie Goodnight's this weekend, and very funny comedian.
Thanks, man.
I must say, look, love your work. You do great stuff. I mean, you do tons of stuff. So, what's the most fun that you get a chance to do, other than
It's crazy,
harassing
man, 'cause
people at Sirius
I mean, that's
Radio?
the best. That's the best. We had a guy there was a golf show. And we used to mess with them to the point where they moved studios. They liked it. They liked it. They thought we were funny. Listen, shout out to
That is
shout out to
hilarious.
Deb and
The PGA Tour Radio, or
Yeah,
yeah. So this one guy,
that's hilarious.
it was Ben and Deb, and this guy Ben, our producer, who's like this really nice guy, had a crush on Deb, and so we were always like talking to Deb, and the guy she did the show with, Ben, big guy, he was like a former, I don't know, like trainer or something, and he always wore orange.
Right.
And so what we would do is,
You can't make this up. You can't make this
dude,
up.
we had our fans
Orange.
call
Their show?
and then we listened to it on our show. And dude, this one guy just called and he's like, "Hey, I'm having a slice on my approach shot, you know?" And Ben's like, "Well, I'm glad you brought that up. You're going to want a nice 6-iron. You're going to want to hit an 8-iron, maybe up over." And he goes, "Yeah, it's great. Also, why do you wear orange?" And we just saw his face and he was like, well, I don't know. And he's like, "Was your father a safety cone?" And the guy's like, "Dude, we were laughing. I thought I was going to throw up. I was laughing so hard." And then they were just like, "No." So that's like easily the most fun job. It's not even a job. But Billions is the coolest job. Yeah, Billions is like, It's just it's just like people come by set. Like one time I was getting a coffee and just JJ Redick standing there.
Yeah. Shout out Duke Blue Devils. Yeah.
And I'm the same age as him, and I went to the University of Arizona.
Okay.
And so immediately I was just like, hey, you won Player of the Year over my friend Salim Stoudemire.
Yeah.
It's not cool. And he was looking at me, he was like, sorry? Yeah.
But Dan, you're actually taller than I thought you were. You ever played basketball before?
I played football. I wasn't good at basketball.
Okay.
I played outside linebacker. I was just good at running into people very fast.
He played tight end, I played wide receiver.
Yeah, I just
Jazz was a manager.
I played manager.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Actually, I'm wearing my hoodie from high school in Low High Athletics.
So another flex, of course.
Yeah.
How?
I'm not because most of us to the district. You're gonna take us lightly.
No,
I'm telling you.
What
you're
you're
gonna take
forgetting
us like it's a letdown. It's a letdown because you're like, oh, it's the defunct. Washington Redskins. This is gonna be easy. You're gonna take us lightly. We're gonna get up on you by at least 21. And
are you crazy? I respect your opinion. What you are forgetting is that Kyle Shanahan wants to embarrass Dan Snyder as much as possible.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think 49ers by 1,000,000.
Yeah, you know what?
Hey, hold on.
Michael,
what's that soundbite from yesterday that Shanahan about?
What was the best part about coaching in Washington?
Being able to work with my dad and be around some other good coaches.
What was the worst part?
Everything else.
So this is crazy.
I forgot about that part. You probably got a point.
This is just how the world works.
Yeah.
And the crazy way that life works is I grew up, my dad's from San Francisco, my mom's from Denver, so my mom raised me in Denver, but I'm a Bay Area sports fan.
Right.
Got a lot of fights. You say Joe Montana's better than John Elway in Denver, you better have a hook. My best friend from middle school is the offensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers now.
Wow.
So a kid I've known since I was 12 years old. I get on the phone with him every weekend.
Wow.
He's his technical title is the run game coordinator, Michael McDaniel.
Yeah.
But he is my best friend from middle school. I was in his wedding. Me and Kyle Shanahan were in the same wedding party. So it's like.
But wait a minute. Hold on now. Talk about it.
So
But you really can't flex, though.
Yeah, that's a real big flex. That's an Arnold Mr. Olympia flex.
I was saying you slip one in and just did.
Can you hang around a few more minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Let's rock. We are just in the middle of an unbelievable conversation with Dan Soder, who is going to be at Good Nights this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night. And, of course, you may have seen him on Billions, but you really have seen him on the stage, particularly as a comedian. And we found out he's an avid sports fan.
Yeah.
But Dan, let me ask you a question. Are you surprised with where you are in your life right now? Is this something that you wanted to do?
Yeah.
A long term?
I think I got in trouble at every other job. So it was nice to have a job where you get paid to talk nonsense.
Yeah.
And no, man, I was always just happy to be a comedian. Like I just wanted to be a comic. I spent years just trying to be a comic. That when it finally did happen, you're like, oh man, this is great.
Wow.
So you get a job like Billions, and it's just even better because you're like, oh cool, this is a really cool job. So I definitely don't think it's like. I think you see people in this business that expect to get jobs like that.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I'm just kind of like.
So when you go back, when you went back to high school reunions or whatever, some of your friends were like, "Wow." You big time. So they're like,
I got people asking me for money. That's how I got people being like, "Can I borrow some money?
Can I hold some?
Like, how much money do you think I have?" Yeah, that's the ones you get. You don't get like, "Oh, good job." You get like, "Hey, let me borrow some money."
So you wanted to be a comic. Was there anyone that said like, "Man, you're funny. You should maybe"?
Yeah. I mean, I think like I kind of wanted to do it in high school,
And you knew you were funny.
I mean, I thought I was like funny with like my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think I was funny, and I was a massive stand-up comedy fan my whole life. And then finally, when I went to my first open mic at like 20, when I was at the University of Arizona, I just watched. I wanted to go watch, and I saw like 3 people, and I was like, I think I can do this. You go to an open mic, you can get some confidence. And then I went and did a set, and then it was fun, and then I bombed for like 6 months, just every time I went on stage. Yeah, but I loved it. And it really was like, what I liked about it is I think, being a sports fan, there's a competitiveness to it. And I really liked that. And I found like this was something that I was good at, that I could also be competitive at.
Wow.
So it was kind of fun. Like I just did this, running the hour for HBO.
Yeah.
I went and did the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland, which is a month of shows where you do like 27 shows in 28 days.
Wow.
So you do the hour every day. But it felt so much like football camp that I liked it. That I liked it.
You're like, I can
Nice
do this.
analogy. Yeah.
So
I
when,
that.
like walking to the show, I was like, man, this feels like when you're walking to practice, you know, and you're like, man, it's a long day. I don't want to do this. But then when you're done, you're like, man, this is fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. So it was definitely like, I think sports have helped me out. Especially when you're in a city and you got nothing to do and you're like Kansas City and you're like, let me go see a Royals game.
Yeah.
Let me go check something out. There's always fun stuff to do.
Wow.
Which but definitely having this job is unbelievable.
So how did you make the transition to acting from comedy?
Yeah, they I never really thought I was going to act at all, but Amy Schumer had her sketch show Inside Amy, and she employed a lot of stand-ups just to, you know, and one day we were at the Comedy Cellar and I made fun of her and she's like, "Can you act?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then she was just like, come on out and do a sketch." And I did a sketch and then I did a couple more sketches and then I started auditioning for stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever take classes?
No.
You're a natural, huh?
Now, I mean, I asked Damian Lewis about that because he's like, when you get on set with Billions, I tell everyone on Billions, I'm like, I'm not an actor. I'm a comic trying to learn how to act.
Yeah.
So don't think I'm in the same category as you. Because I think if I was like, you know, if there was an actor doing stand-up, like Michael Rapaport is doing, he's doing stand-up now. But what I love about Rapaport is he's like, yo, I'm learning how to do this. And that's the same energy I take to actors when I'm talking about coming from stand-up. Like, I'm not saying I know how to do this.
You're right.
Teach me. I want to learn how to do this.
Right.
But Damien came and saw me do stand-up at the Comedy Cellar in New York. And after the show, he's like, yeah, that's why you don't need to take classes. He's like, you're on stage every night. He's like, you're basically acting out your jokes. He's like, don't listen to anybody. He's like, just, you know.
It's almost like a class.
Yeah. And he's kind of like, if you have any questions, you just ask me. And when Bobby Axelrod tells you that, you're like, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna ask you questions.
Bobby says Axelrod.
He's the man. He's the man. That whole cast is awesome. Like that top to bottom. Yeah. And I've heard that from several people that work on the show. They're like, do not think this is a regular thing. They're like, do not think that it's always
Seriously?
this cool. Yeah, they're like, it's not always this cool.
Okay.
Because I think Paul Giamatti and Damien kind of set the tone for everyone. And they're like hardworking, good people. And Maggie Siff, you know, everyone shows up and they're like, know your stuff and don't mess around. You can mess around, but just don't waste anyone's time.
Make sure you know your stuff.
Yeah. But it's been, man, like, it's intimidating.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
But Bobby Axelrod, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
He plays that role so well. Like, he makes you really believe that there was an actual Bobby Axelrod somewhere.
What's crazy?
That he is the actual Bobby Axelrod somewhere.
When you hear his British accent, when he speaks in a British accent, you feel like he's acting.
You just killed some people right now because they had no idea.
They had no idea that he is British.
Oh, man. The
I
first
knew that, though.
season 1, he stays in the American accent the whole season.
Yes.
Season 1, we were outside, and I was like walking to my trailer, and I just heard Damien on the phone with his kids. And he was using, you know, he does his regular voice with his kids. And it was creepy. I was just sitting there staring at him like, what is that? Because he was like, I love you, and I love you too. And I was like, you don't talk like that.
That's not how you talk.
Stop it.
Like, what is this guy?
Stop talking like that. Yeah, it was crazy. But he's such a cool guy. And it's like, you know, I talked about being ready to film this special.
Sure.
I also kind of have a thing like I'm excited to get back to Billions because it's like coming back to school.
Yeah.
Like seeing everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm a recess.
I haven't seen you after a while after summer break. And you're like, oh, man. Like, people. Yeah. And now that we're, spoiler alert, if you're not caught up, now that Mason Capital's folded back into Axe Capital.
Yes,
right.
yes.
I'm going to be seeing some old friends a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Do people recognize you more for that?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, that show's massive.
Yeah, it is. It's huge.
Yeah,
man.
so there's like times. So when people look at me, I'm always like, they don't, you know. If someone knows me from stand up, they usually, the way they'll approach me, like if they're fans of the Bonfire, they're usually just like, Soder, like they have a different energy.
Yeah.
But like it's usually people who are like, what? Like look at you. When Schumer got famous, she told me that there's a thing called the 3-second window where someone looks at you, doesn't know where they know you from, and then it clicks, and then they jump. So in those 3 seconds, that's when you got to get out. when they're looking at you, you just gotta walk away. Just walk away. And I've seen people say,
hey, K-Mac and Jasmine, we don't have that problem now, but when that problem happens, we learn from Dan right here.
Yeah, that's it. That's like them jumping the route. And you gotta go.
Exactly right.
That's a legit thing because I've done like not necessarily like I was gonna go talk to somebody because I don't like do that, but. It takes a minute. You're looking. You're like, I know them from somewhere, and then it clicks. What you do after it?
So they did a jump.
I was in London, and I was dating a girl that lived there, and we were at dinner. We were like eating dinner, and she got up to go to the bathroom, and this guy goes, "We work together," and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "We work in the same office. You work at," and he like named the company. I was like, "Nah, man, I don't work there." And he's like, "You don't? You're from Billions." He's like, I thought you worked in my office. I was like, "Nah, man, it was so funny to watch him. He was so sure." He's like, "Yeah, right, you work at so and so," and I was like, "Nah, man,
you work in accounting."
Yeah, I was like, "Nah, man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about." He was blown away by it.
Then Billions hit him. He like,
yeah. You watched him hit it. He's like, "Oh, that's where I know you from."
Again, Dan is rocking Good Night tonight.
Oh my God.
And tomorrow night, get it in. Fun guy. So when people come, Dan, what do they expect to?
It's so funny, man, because you'll see like occasionally you'll see like Billions fans who have no clue, and like it's fun to watch my fans who know me watch them watch me because they're like, they have no clue, because that's like I'm not I think my act's mostly personal, but it's just about growing up, being the only child of a single mom and just that kind of stuff. A little dirtier.
I'm probably sure.
I'm not like crazy filthy, but I think there's dark subjects that like people come in like, fleece vests, and they're sitting there watching and like, I did not expect this. So I think it's fun to watch my fans watch that.
Yeah.
You put some football stuff in there too?
No, man, I wish. I'm too passionate about the Niners. Yeah. I learned in New York City I can no longer wear 49ers stuff on stage because I want to fight people.
Yeah. They crazy there.
Back in 2013, I had, just because also you get a lot of tourists, I remember 2013, it was right before Harbaugh got fired from the Niners. So it was after our run of like 3 NFC championships.
Right.
And, the Seahawks. And Richard Sherman broke our heart. Shout out to Richard Sherman. Yeah. Just the best damn corner right now.
He plays for the $400 right there.
I love him. It's
amazing how good he is all of a sudden.
when we were going, when the Seahawks and the Legion of Boom were beating the Niners.
Yes.
I remember being like, I hate Richard Sherman, but I guarantee if he became a 49er, I would love him. And that's what happened. The day we signed him, I was like, I'm going to buy a number 25 jersey. Let's go.
I got to have it.
But I remember in like 2012, I had a 49ers sweatshirt on, and I got on stage to do jokes, and this guy was like, the Niners suck. And I looked, and he had a Seahawks hat on, and I was like, I don't want to make you laugh. And it just changed the energy. I was like, well, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? And then I just...
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin roast was great. Yeah. Jeff Ross is so funny and so good at roasting. There's people that are great at it. I look at it like, roasting got real popular for a while. And I was saying it's like when the dunk competition of comedy. Like some people can windmill dunk.
Nice.
But that's all they can do is dunk.
They can't shoot a jump shot.
I can
or a free throw.
Yeah. I mean, I'll bang on you with 2 hands, but I'm most of the time shooting. I'm just a pure shooter. I'm like Ray Allen. I just want to keep shooting. Yeah. But it's like if I get a breakaway, I'll dunk on you. If I get a thing, I'll roast you. But without that, I'm not looking to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking just to pop a shot. Yeah. I just want to sit about 25 feet.
Do you pass like you'll get? I mean,
yeah. Oh man, that's what it is. That's what doing radio with Jay is. Yeah. I'm learning how to dish. I'm just tossing dimes off my back elbow like Jason Williams when he was on the Kings.
I throw alley-oops and these guys do not catch it.
I'll tell you what. That's where you're gonna break up the locker room. Can't say that because whenever I miss an oop with Jay, I'm always like, that was me. I put it too high. I do that when we're running back down the court. I slap my own chest.
That's me.
I'm gonna get that.
That's gonna be my bad. My bad.
I should at least bounce it off.
See, playing basketball with this guy over here, I've learned to accept.
That's why you're going.
I've learned to accept the fact that he doesn't pass.
So
he's world renowned for knowing.
Well, the thing
not
is,
passing.
but I'm making shots.
He don't even know what it is.
I'm always hot.
See,
those are the guys that are never hot. Those are the guys that are like, I'm always hot. Like, I'm actually hot. You want to be like, I've hit 2 out of 4. Let me hit.
And don't ever take a time out and he's over there thinking.
Yeah.
Trust me, he's not thinking about passing the ball.
He's just thinking about what he's going to do after the game.
He's thinking about the shot. He's a pure shooter. He's an assassin. He's a sniper. That's all he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's not going to do anything else. Yeah, that's all he's going to do.
That's good on your knees, though. if you just a pure shooter, you're not running around.
I ain't trying to be on defense either.
Yeah.
But that kind of comes with his territory.
Yeah.